Good morning. Okay, yesterday I talked about that it's okay to want what you want. And I realized in going through these journals that I spend a lot of time figuring out what I want. And I'm going to share some of the ideas of how to go about that. After I did yesterday's video, I spent a couple of hours just writing all this, what I want, everything crystal clear on what the visions of what I want to do. And I realized the importance of it. There's something magical about writing down and having your mind to say, I want this. Dan Sullivan has a great book called Wanting What You Want. And it's an amazing thing. So important that Dan did for 25 years, every day in his journal, he wrote, what do I want? And he, got himself to do it every day because he realized that some of the situations that he had gotten in were because he wasn't crystal clear on what he wanted. So he decided, I'm going to, for every day for 25 years. And I think he said he missed like 12 days over the whole 25 years of doing it. And I would encourage you, that's a good place to start, is just start in your journal and say, what do I want? Now, there's some categories of this as I'm looking through the journals of repetitive things that I would do. I love this idea of what do I want for my days? What do I want my days to look like? And I've mentioned creating these vignettes of like just painting a picture of your day, of the environment, of how you want things to flow. And I was amazed, you can't go wrong by attaching your variety to the things that are stable. Like I don't know, it just seems so simple, and maybe I don't know whether it's just me the way I look at it, but this fact that the rhythm of existence, the rhythm of life is always going to be a constant. So we're always going to sleep. We're always going to have the mornings. We're always going to have all of those things. So being able to attach to those, the things that you want, I think that's an amazing exercise. So I would just constantly start with that. What do I want? And not limit yourself. Then another great way of looking at things is looking in your environment. I love this idea of, I've found out, when people buy investment properties or they'll buy an apartment complex or a commercial property, they'll go around with a clipboard and they'll make a list of property improvement plan where they get all the possible things. And for me, I think today I'm going to do this, is I would go through and look at my environment and say, what do I want? And you're always looking for things what would make this better or what would solve this problem? I think I mentioned, I was looking, one of the questions that I always ask, that I would have a page called Better Ideas that would just get my thinking of things that I've noticed would be an improvement. And out of that came things like my garbage can right by the door of my car so that it's super easy to just grab this and put it in the garbage, solving the problems that not having those solutions creates. And looking at your environment with that eye for what could be better here, I think that is a really valuable exercise for you, a really valuable exercise of, just constant awareness of your environment and the ways that you could improve. I think I would make a list of things, make like my Christmas wish list, or the things that I want. If I just could go on a, supermarket spree and just fill my cart with anything that I wanted, that's one of the flavors of what do I want. And it's fun to do these kind of exercises, because in your mind, you sort of get a little bit of dopamine hits by just imagining the moment of getting those things, or how you would feel if you had those things. And so I'm going to encourage you that, in your journal, looking for those opportunities. I came across a quadrant. I'm just sitting here and a bird pooped on my page of my journal there. But I was looking, and I would create these quadrants. And on one side, in the quadrants, I would have personal satisfactions, things that you're happy with personally, things that really make you happy on a personal basis. And then in the lower quadrant, what makes you unhappy? What are the things that you don't want in your personal life? Just getting like how to recognize when they're happening. And then on the other side, the professional satisfactions. What are the things in business or in work that you're super happy with? And what are the things that you are completely unsatisfied with? And I found that completely jives with Dan Sullivan's idea of your unique ability, right? Of the things those are the things that are probably going to bring you the most joy, that you feel most fulfilled in. And a book I'm reading, a Tom Peters book I'm rereading, and he referenced a survey of executives, and they just asked them to list the activities that they do that light them up, the things that they do that are the most exciting, most rewarding, the things where they feel the best about what they're doing, and then list the things that they're just okay. Like I could take it or leave it. I don't mind it. I can tolerate it, kind of thing. And then what are the activities that drive you crazy, that you don't care whether you'd ever do them again? And that's a really good way. If you just make a list of all of the activities, I call them verbs, all the things that you do in your time and in your day. What are the things that light you up? What are the things that really drive you crazy? And then that becomes your working list to drive out the things that you don't like or don't like to do. And by the way, the executives, there was only 20% of the things they were doing that were actually high value and made them feel good. 60% of the things were just mundane, or could take it or leave it. And 20% of the things were driving them crazy. And that's as an entrepreneur, the great thing is that we have the power to design whatever you want. It's okay to want what you want, but in order to want what you want, you need to know what you want. And that starts with taking your pen, taking some paper, taking some time, and going through some thoughtful, directed thinking to process it all, and then work towards improving or adding all of those things for you. I got a funny email the other day from Rick. It says, "Dean, question. Are you saying you can teach me to make fat stacks by hanging out at a pub, drinking coffee like you?" And I laughed to myself because I was thinking, yes, I can do that. That's what I do. Is the funny thing, what I really realized is that every idea that I've had, every dollar that I've made over the last 30 years has gone through my brain, through my pen, onto a piece of paper in my journal before it went out into the real world. And if I can turn people onto that activity as a driver for what to do, what to think about, what to ask yourself to draw out what the next most valuable action is for you, and how to find the most profitable things that you can install in your business, I'm all for it. So this Friday at 1 p.m., I'm going to do, for the first time, a 50-minute profit finder workshop. And you're going to join me live on Zoom, and we're going to go through a 50-minute exercise. Bring your pen, bring a notebook or piece of paper, and I'm going to guide you through a thinking process that will help you identify where the lowest hanging fruit is in your business, and maybe some fruit that you didn't even know was there, but I'm going to show you where to look for it. So it's free. It's for you. It's Friday at 1 p.m. this Friday. Just watch. Go to, what did we call the website, Josh?
50-minute profit finder.
Just go to 50minuteprofitfinder.com and I'll get you all the details, and hopefully you can join us then. Friday, 1 p.m.